Depression and suicide in teens. Depression, or melancholia, can be traced as far back as ancient Mesopotamia. Ancient Greeks and ancient Romans had differing opinions on the cause, though. Greeks thought it had more to do with body fluids, Romans thought it was caused by spirits and demons. Either way, ancient times had some horrible treatments for depression. They included things such as bloodletting, starvation, shackles, and beatings. Luckily, today we have a better understanding of depression. We now know that there are environmental and biological factors involved, and some of the treatments we have today are a lot less traumatizing. These include medication and psychotherapy, or counseling. 13 Reasons Why is a young adult book, more recently a Netflix original series, that represents an example of teenage depression and suicide in popular culture. It's about a girl named Hannah Baker and the events that led up to her suicide and the aftermath of her suicide for everyone left behind. It's a very powerful book that exquisitely paints a picture of the emotional struggles a depressed or suicidal teenager goes through every day. Some causes and risk factors of depression and suicide are heredity, stress, poverty, and substance abuse. A very influential example of heredity playing a part in suicide and depression is Paris Jackson. Her father, Michael, suffered from depression before he passed away. When I decided to take my own life in 2007, stress played a major role in my decision as I put way too much pressure on myself to do well in school. Treatment options that are available to people suffering from depression are medications, although the risk factors are greater for children and teens. Depression and suicidal thoughts or actions could get worse on medication. Another option is psychotherapy or counseling. For less severe cases of depression, this could be a better option than medication. We can do many things to help people who are suffering. The biggest thing we can do if we know someone is suffering is to educate ourselves. We cannot help people if we do not know what we're looking for. We also need to be more compassionate and less judgmental. After all, the ones who are suffering could be our children, our grandchildren, our sisters and brothers. We never know who's suffering in silence. We need to help by reaching out to remove the stigma of depression from society for the sake of future generations. By taking action, we can reduce the number of teen deaths due to suicide. Currently, suicide is ranked the third highest cause of death among teens. I'm living proof of everything that I have put into this presentation. I suffered from depression since I was 9 years old, and I tried to take my own life when I was 16. It is a terrible struggle that I would not be able to do without the help and support of my family and friends. I would not be able to do it without the treatment options that are available for people like me. And I definitely would not be here today without the education I've gotten in regards to my own illness. Another example of someone who survived this is Paris Jackson. As previously stated, she is Michael Jackson's daughter, and depression runs in the family. And in 2013, she tried to take her own life. Luckily, she survived and got the help she needed to overcome her struggles. Sadly, depression doesn't go away, but we can at least manage our symptoms. If you'd like to find out more, you can reach out to Write Love on Her Arms. They're a nonprofit organization that are dedicated to raising awareness and offering options for help and support to people who struggle from depression and suicidal thoughts. Another great place to go would be the National Institute of Mental Health, where you can get information about depression and suicide, as well as risk factors and more information on treatment options. And for those in crisis, the National Suicide Hotline is a confidential lifeline for those in need.